Hello guys, and welcome back to Stylish Naija channel. So in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to how to cut and sew a fitted A-line dress, so you can see the picture. So at the end of the day you can see what we did is a simple beginners friendly project. So let's get started. If you want to register for my classes, you can see my number on the screen. Okay guys, so you can see this is the fabric that I'm going to be making use of for this tutorial. So it's actually a cotton, normal cotton, simple fabric. So you can use any fabric of your choice. So this is just a tutorial. Okay, so I'm using about 2 yards of this fabric piece. So the next thing we're going to do, I've spread the fabric is folded into two. I cut it two. That's what I'm trying to say. I have the back folded into two and then the front folded into two. Both of them are together, and then you can see the wideness. So I'm trying to check the width. Okay, so I'm using about 17 inches for the width. So what you put into consideration is the down part of your gown. Okay, so I'm just trying to mark a line that will be like my startup line. So from that line, the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm just trying to check. I'll mark my bust line. That's from my shoulder to my nipple point. That is my bust line. And then I'll mark my under bust line from the shoulder to the under bust. And then the third line is my waistline. So these are the three measurements you need to make a fitted A-line dress. So by the way, the back, I left allowance for the back piece. Okay, so that's for zip allowance. So they are folded together. The fabrics are folded together, but the back is like 2 inches bigger than the front. Okay, so now the full length of the dress of the gown is actually 38 inches. So I'm just trying to mark that point. Okay, so I'm trying to highlight all of the lines. So you fold your fabrics together back and front, but make sure that the back is 2 inch bigger than the front, because you are going to add a zip to it since it is a fitted A-line dress. Okay, so I was just trying to label the lines. So the next thing, I'll mark my shoulder line on that first upper line. So the shoulder is 14. You divide 14 into 2, I'll have 7 inches. So I mark 7 inches, and then on that point I'll just add like 1 inch allowance to it, and then I'll come down by half of an inch. So I'm just trying to create like a slope for it. Okay, so from that slope I'm going to mark half of my armhole, which is 16. I'll divide that into 2. I have 8 inches. So I came down from that slope to that point, and then yes, I'm going to mark. I just connected it with a straight ruler, and then I'm just blending it outside. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do from that point now, I'm just going to measure half of that line, which is 4, and then just come out by quarter of an inch. So that's for the front armhole. And then I'll place my pattern curve like this just to create a curve. Okay, so I'll create a curve like that. So I'm just trying to blend it to highlight it. I don't want the chalk to stain the fabric too much. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do now, come to the bust line. So divide your bust measurement into 4. That's your round bust circumference. So just divide yours and then add it, and then I'll add 2 inches allowance to it. So this dress, I'm not going to put a dart on it. So the whole fitting is from the measurements like this. So note that. So the under bust measurement also, I'll divide it into 4. That's your under bust. You measure it round and then divide it into 4. So you add the measurement there, just, and then you add allowance for it on it. Okay, so I'm using like 2 inches allowance. So I'll just place it like that. And then the next measurement that you need for this A-line dress is the waist measurement. That's your shoulder to your waist round. So you make sure you measure it round, and then you divide that measurement into 4. Okay, so when you divide that into 4, you place it like that, and then you add your allowance to it. So for the allowance, like I said, you can use 1 inch, you can use 2 inches. So it depends on what you want. And then you connect the lines together, just blend them all like that together. Okay, so I'm just trying to make it. So Yes, I'm just trying to blend it nicely. So the next measurement now is the down part. So for the down part, you measure how wide you want the down part to be. So for this, I use about 15 or 16 thereabout. So another thing, I came back to this point. So I'm just trying to check everything, check my measurements properly. So that's what I'm trying to do. So I'll divide that, the down part, how wide I want it to be. You can measure around, because if you notice, it's not a very big dress, it's just a cute A line. So divide that into two, and then I'll place it. So like I said, I used about 30 inches for that down part. So you divide that into two plus allowance. So at the end of the day, I had about 16 or 17 thereabout. So I'll mark it like that. So you can make yours to be smaller, you can make yours to be bigger. So the dress will still pass. So I'm trying to blend that part in, and then after that, so I'm just trying to double check everything. So the next thing, I'll come to the neckline. So just a basic neckline, I'll add 3 inches width and then 4 inches length. That's for the front neckline. And then for the back, I'm using just 1 inch for the back neckline. So I'm trying to use my pattern curve to just curve all of them out. So the neck is a high neckline from the picture, if you see. So I'll cut out the back neckline like that, and then cut that shoulder slope area, and then I'll come to the armhole. So if you see, notice that I'm cutting on the back armhole. That is, I did not, that 1/2 inch that I entered, I did not cut on that part. When I'm doing the front, I'll trim it out. So and then I'll cut the side. So if you want to register for my online classes, my number came up on the screen. So you can just screenshot the number and then send me a message on WhatsApp. So for me to curve the down part of my gown, I'll just come up by 2 inches and then like blend that into that section of the dress. That's that down part of the dress. Okay. So after that, I'll just trim that off. Okay. So you can see we are basically done. This is a very simple beginners friendly tutorial. As a beginner, try out this pattern and you'll be amazed. For this pattern, if you notice, we did not fold it like an A line. We used normal fold to fold it. So I'm trying to open up the back piece, and then at the end of the day, you still get that cute. If you fold it with an A-line pattern, you will not get it. So the next thing, we're measuring our basic sleeve. So I'm not really putting much emphasis on the sleeve. So it's just a basic sleeve. So I'm just trying to curve it out. So it just came down by 4 inch and then blend it into that top part. And then the next thing, I'll measure my bicep area. So divide that measurement into two, and then measure the down part also. So then measure the length of my sleeve. So like I said, if you don't know how to cut this kind of basic sleeve, I will drop the link, or you can check through my channel. You will see how to go about it. So the next thing, I'm going to cut out a facing. So for the facing, I just took a fabric and then place it. Just make sure that the fabric is wide than the neck, that's than the top part of your dress. Okay, trim out the armhole area, and then I'm using my chest line, that bust line point, just came down a little bit, and then mark, just cut it out. Okay. So the next thing, I'll show you how to stitch. This is a simple process. Take your facing, do the same thing that I did for this front, do it to the back and stitch around that neckline area. And then after stitching that neckline area, you take the front and the back, you place both of them together like this, and then I'll stitch the shoulder part, and then I'll bring it back and show you guys how it looks like. Okay, so you can see, like I said, don't fold your dress like an A line, fold it normal square fold. So that is what gives this fitting. So this is the sleeve. So the next thing, I'm going to take this. I'm so sorry about this video. I think the lighting was too much, so it's a little bit blur. So I just noticed it. So for the sleeve, just place the sleeve and then join the sleeve to it. Okay. So and then I'll do the same thing to the back, to the other side rather. Okay, so this part of the video was a little bit blurry, because of the lighting that was too much. So sorry about that, guys. Yeah, so stitch that part, and then you can see at the end of the day, you can see the dress that we made, the shape, everything looks like the original piece. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. Please, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. Thank you, guys. God bless you. Bye bye.